Hello and welcome back to the Business Hour podcast, where we meet the people behind some of Ireland's most beloved businesses. We've got a fascinating show for you today, but first a quick shout out to our hosts here at Magic Door Studio, the epicentre of podcasting in North County Dublin. Aside from producing award-winning podcasts for some of Ireland's best and brightest podcasters, Magic Door Studio offers a range of services for Irish businesses too. If you're looking for content that is authentic, very real, and people-centred, Magic Door Studio is the place for you. For pricing and more, visit magicdoorstudio.ie. I'm very excited to introduce our guests today, two men who are breaking the mould in their industry. I would like to introduce Kieran Lydon and John Farrell of Lydon Farrell Property. Hello.
Hi.
How are you? How are you both doing?
Thank you very much for having us.
I'm delighted. Do you know each other a long time? Or are you just...
I think we let John tell this one.
Yes, we've probably, maybe as teenagers, we've played a lot of sport. I'm from North Meath, just outside Kells, and
Okay.
Kieran is also from Meath, just outside
Two Meath men.
Navan and Johnstown. So we're two Meath men.
Good stuff.
Played a lot of GAA growing up as you know, from teenagers onwards, soccer. So we came across each other on playing against each other in sport, and then that moved on to, I suppose, college. We attended college at the same time and hung around friends together for, you know, the 3 or 4 years during college, and in our professional careers afterwards. We both
Where were we in college?
we were in college in
Bolton Street.
Good stuff.
First day of college, you go in and there's 7 lads wearing St. Michael's jerseys. They just bet 5-11 to 7 points, I'm told, in a final 3 weeks beforehand.
Oh dear.
And you look up and there you see them all smiling down at you. So, kind of, in fairness, we went for a few pints that day.
we did.
Things are coming back around. It's good times to be Meath GA supporter. Lasted a while. Both the men and the ladies. Obviously, it was a bit heartbreaking, but this year, but we're on the rebound.
Thankfully.
And so, what did you study?
Property economics.
Property economics.
Yes. So it was a 4-year degree in Bolton Street. It was fascinating because there's so many various aspects to it.
Yeah.
There's various, you can do law, planning. I went into real estate. John did the auctioneering course,
Yeah.
which was very similar.
So there's different components within the degree, and you can kind of
Veer
specialize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could veer off into planning, into law, into what's the other one? Kind of economics, all that area. But I went into general agency, started in Jones Lang when I finished up college.
Can I go back a little bit further than that? Obviously, you chose that to go and do property management. Why that? Did you have an interest in that growing up? You know, or did someone guide you in that path? Or why did you choose that and not other aspects of business?
Property in our family was fascinating. It was always interesting. It was, you know, you were looking at houses. You were, you know, my sister was going to DCU, and you soon realised paying rent.
Yeah.
She was the first. Then you had my brother, and then me. So
Yeah.
you were kind of looking at it going, if you're paying for 3 people up in Dublin,
Yeah, maybe that's
what's
try
the
and
other
get
way of
somewhere.
doing this? So
Yeah,
kind of just, it was always interesting. How I picked it, I have no idea.
yeah,
I'd say family influence always helps. Getting the leaving cert results was, you know, one thing you kind of just, you don't know what you're going to get in the results. So if you get what you match in the course, isn't that a good thing?
yeah.
So,
Of course. What about
that's
yourself,
how
John?
I ended up in it.
I think myself, I grew up on a farm, so
Oh, you're
I
from
think,
dairy or
tillage predominantly, and suckler herd.
okay.
So with 4 boys and my sister, I think the realisation that I'm completely useless with my hands probably forced me into
On
college.
the football pitch as well, though.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, I'd say I think I always wanted to go to college. Probably after the leaving cert, I was veering towards teaching.
Right.
You know, but I suppose, you know, when you're on a farm, you learn the whole entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
you know, detail, and I thoroughly enjoy people. And I think probably in around 18, 19, it was something that just struck, probably in around that leaving cert stage. And after that, you know, I was delighted to take that course on, and because I think, you know, if there's 40, 50 kids in our, well, not kids, but students in our course, you know, it's not it may not be for 20 of those, and they go off into different directions. But I think for both of us, we were lucky that, and it is down to luck as well, that we both probably enjoyed the course from the start, and that evolved into
It's essential. It's interesting you mentioned about farming. It's something, I guess, so one of my degrees is in entrepreneurship, and I would have grown up seeing my dad as a farmer, and it wasn't really till I started to really understand entrepreneurship that I understood that actually he's a small business owner, and same as for yourself, for my siblings and I, we all gained an understanding of a number of different aspects, property included, and stuff. And yeah, I think it's a good grounding for anybody. So to move on then, you established your property agency, would you call it? Property firm, property company, Lydon Farrell, in 2020, I believe. And you seem to have experienced very rapid growth since then. You've obviously got something right. What's the
I think our
the secret sauce?
backgrounds were very diverse. Like I would be more commercial and John's more residential. So by the two of us literally joining up, we could bring a lot as one agency to, and then when we started,
is it just, are the two of you the kind of principal people, or do you have a broader team? Or like, how does that work?
Certainly at the start, it was just the two of us.
Okay.
For a good while.
And so your skills kind of complemented each other. You obviously knew that going in.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We knew that going in, and I suppose we, like Kieran said, after college we worked in very different spaces. The property industry is an exceptionally broad industry.
Right, yeah.
And if Kieran was specialising in the commercial space, whether that be rent reviews for office buildings, buying and selling, maybe industrial units, commercial buildings, I was veered towards the residential market. So you're dealing with your traditional house sales to maybe development land. It could be new housing schemes. So they're two very different expertise. And
so Lydon Farrell today, is it still principally commercial and residential?
It is, and I suppose we've moved from, say, a city centre environment to...
Oh, you were in city centre. Where are you now?
18 years to covering all of Meath.
Where are you based nowadays?
We're based in Navan.
Okay.
So I suppose the business was formed and set up just a month before COVID. And,
okay. Baptism of fire there.
Which was a baptism of fire for the first 12 months.
We moved the laptops home on, was it the day before St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
After being open for 3-4 months.
March 2020.
So yeah, we were home in the bedrooms. And thankfully we'd connections in Dublin that we'd plenty of work, but it gave us time to focus on your marketing, your website, the real fundamental of any business. But
setup,
sometimes you can, when you're starting off, you get too busy doing other stuff. COVID, in one way, was good for us to actually sit down and work out, right, what are we doing here? How can we present assets the right way? So,
well, I mean, that seems to have worked very well for you, because I had I don't know an awful lot about your business, but I had a look through your website and some of your social media marketing and what other people are saying about you, and you certainly seem to have broken the mold of how property management is being done. Some of the ways that you go about your business are quite innovative, and perhaps having that space at the start to really plan out what it is that you want to do helped you along the way. What was the property market like back then? Were you selling much? Buying and selling much?
Lower. Less buyers out there. Before COVID, there's houses in Johnstown, 3-bed semis you were selling at 240,000, 250. When people got back out after COVID, pricing jumped. Like same house today is 350, 370. So our view though is, everyone's on their phones. Okay, so your imagery, your drone footage, stuff like that has to be 100%. In fairness, it was the first thing we looked at is presentation. If you're not getting them clicking into you, you're not going to get a sale.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that, in my view.
So obviously that's informed your marketing, and your marketing seems to be one of your strongest suits. As you say, you're producing content that's very real. You're trying to give people a good, accurate insight into what it is that you do. Is that the same in commercial and residential, or is it? Do you find it's different in both? So you say people are on their phone. Is that mostly residential buyers, or is that commercial as well?
I mean, from residential for housing, it's the average homeowner is 33, 34 when they buy a home, sorry. So, residential is presented entirely differently. It has to be, I suppose, very much geared towards technology. Our average inquiry, probably 70-80% of our inquiries, they basically come from iPhones, property portals. So if
Are you
that's
serious? That
Daft,
much?
My Home, very much so.
I guess, as you said, 33-year-olds, they're they've grown up with technology. We've grown up with technology, and yeah, I could see that. And how does that differ from commercial? Is that more an older clientele, and that's why they're not as they want to see?
Commercial can be split into a couple of various sections, but like to me, the most interesting is investments. The Irish history of owning a house, but then it transpired owning another house. Okay. And there's a lot of people out there that want to have a buy to let, or they want to own a retail unit with a tenant. So
yeah,
I do get a buzz out going out and buying buildings for people because you're always looking at stuff, right? What gives a good return here? Is it a good area? Is it a good covenant? So it's very different in that who your client is because they've been on to you. You have an existing relationship with them over the years.
Yeah.
And then it's, you're looking at anything like we were looking at small buildings let to small tenants to buildings on Grafton Street to let to Victoria's Secrets. So there's been a wide range of stuff there we've looked at over the years, and we've bought buildings for people, and thankfully they've worked out for them.
You're based in Meath. How far out do you go? What's your catchment?
So we'd stretch, as the business developed and progressed. Initially, we were probably focused more so locally within Navan itself, and actually in a part in Dublin where our experience initiated. As the business has grown, we've extended probably right across Meath into parts of Louth, Dublin, maybe across. We've done a good few projects in Galway. So we've actually Sligo. We've initially we were prepared to go anywhere to make the business work, and as that's evolved, it's we're not solely focused on a very localized market, and part of that's down to our willingness to probably spread out and probably
experience in doing other things as well. That helps. So if you were to focus on Navan, there's probably 8-9 estate agents in there, all competing for the same sales. So, there's plenty more business other places as well, and our skill set would allow us get some of that business.
Gotcha.
But, like your home territory is always a place you want to be the biggest in.
Yeah, of course.
And you do focus a lot on there.
And it seems to be very. It's still, I know, I understand what you're saying about technology and people want to see stuff and all that, but it is still a person-to-person kind of thing. It's an industry. You might talk more about this, and for estate agents aren't often taught too well of, and property managers, and it seems to me that it's a trust game where if people know you and trust you, that can drive growth. You guys seem to be very well trusted in Navan. You've a few tools that you've used to try and bridge that gap for trust. One of them I spotted on your site is about you're very transparent about bids and stuff. This is probably more your side of things, John. Is it the residential stuff? Tell me about that. How does that work?
So, look, I suppose like everything, trust first of all starts out by meeting that person yourself. Kieran and I work pretty much every weekend for the next maybe 2 months whilst the sales season is very busy. That's the first element. So meeting people, developing that relationship. The second thing is as much as possible, we've tried to present the business in a manner that anyone that wants to make an offer on a property that we're selling, we set up a platform whereby people can go onto our website, officially make their offer, and engage with other parties that are making their own offers. So, for instance, we can have maybe 2 or 3 people for the one property bidding, and they
so people can see each other's bids.
Yeah, it's a live platform bidding system whereby they've got complete transparency on each entity that's making an offer. We approve each bidder before they're allowed to make an offer, of course, to ensure that it's legitimate.
It's fair and right.
So each party gets a complete understanding that, and a live update as offers come in for each property. So it offers I think it's great in terms of especially for the consumer as much as possible, that they know exactly what's happening.
It's bridging that trust gap and making things more transparent.
It makes it.
Is that common? Is there anyone else, any of the other estate agents in Navan, or anybody doing that?
We were the first to do it.
Not in me that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of as of yet.
As a buyer, it's brilliant because you're getting the update at the same time as the seller.
Yeah.
So everyone is on the same timelines. There's no one chasing an agent saying, "Oh, what's going on here? Where's my offer at?"
Okay, so it's reducing admin and stuff, overheads and stuff like that as well, and time spent with stuff. Where everyone, as you say,
and it gives a full,
process.
transparent process.
Yeah,
it just legitimizes. I suppose every potential buyer feels comfortable with the process.
Yeah.
Our average potential buyer is 33, 34. They spend 5-6 months looking for a home. They're at that sensitive stage in life. They're young. They're not involved in our sales industry or even necessarily in the private sector. So I think it makes them feel safe and comfortable.
As you mentioned, there is a general mistrust of agents. And like when you train for 4 years and you work, it's you always hear it, but you don't like hearing it. But it just shows that things can be done right.
Yeah.
If you use the right person, it comes down to that. If it starts off right, it'll be right the whole way through. So
couldn't agree more. I'm going to say you've got a very trustworthy face. You do. Is there plans?
John, what about you?
I don't know.
I'm sure you're both very trustworthy, and certainly how you conduct your business is very open and honest, and I think as you say, that's what people need from businesses nowadays. I mean, to go for outside your own industry, we're swimming in misinformation, disinformation, and AI generated videos and images and stuff. We live in a world now where it's very hard to know what is true and real and stuff. And if you guys can produce a way to help your clients to kind of have a better sense of,
and that's where
actual reality.
But technology is great when it works.
Yeah.
But for that technology to work and the offers, you have to meet them yourself.
Yeah.
The agent has to be there because you have to know who the person is behind the offer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
is there plans do you do that in the commercial side of things at all, or would that be a kind of different market, or like
commercial is different?
Yeah,
it's different. It's
people want more privacy, I guess.
There's not as many buyers for different assets. There's it depends how they're being sold. Are you approaching people off market? There's commercial is a different functionality to it. So it has.
I suppose it's specialised. Commercial can extend from selling land to selling an office to selling a shop.
Yeah,
each one of those people that will buy those assets are very different people. Have different requirements. So it's very, very...
like you could have a retailer looking to open up in Navan and they could be ringing you from anywhere and you have to go through where the various places are and you'd know what tenancies may be moving on or what buildings may be coming up. So there's a lot more to the commercial element and no offence to any residential buyer, but they want a house that's located in travelling 40 kilometres of Dublin. And they have a set budget.
Yes.
A retailer occupier is able to take a different viewpoint at different times. So I think.
Do you ever do anything abroad?
No. And
I'm sure we've done stuff abroad, but
yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure the other way around. I'm sure you mentioned about people. I'm sure you have foreign clients that are looking for a property in Navan or surrounds.
Yeah.
Investors.
Contact.
Like when I worked in Dublin, you'd have big office buildings like where Beecham's are, Riverside, all along there. That your buyer there could be European funds coming in. So they're comparing the return on that property to another main property in Paris or in London. So I would have dealt with a lot of investment funds over the years. But again, that's all about return. They're focused on the return, and if they don't get the return, they won't buy the building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's more straightforward.
But even broadening that out, like the world has become a very small place. So we've got a huge amount of international buyers, of course, that are coming into Ireland, that are working for multinationals, that are setting up their lives in Ireland. We've probably, and especially in the commuter belt where a lot of your international companies are, say, based in Dublin. But in principle, I don't think we would want to sell property abroad. But as the world changes and becomes more of a village, you have to be more aware of what the different people's requirements are. And what people's requirements are today are vastly different to what they were even 15 years ago.
Exactly, and obviously you know your home market, and it's where your strengths are.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the dynamic between the two. You obviously get on very well. You've got the bit of GA rivalry going back, and other rivalries and that. Which is tougher on the other in terms of admin and meetings? Which is more diligent in that regard? Are you pretty much equals that to you?
Which is more diligent?
I'm looking for a bit of dirt.
I'd say our accountant is, if he hears this, he's just shaking his head. So I'd say he's just shaking his head going, those pair. No, look, we're very easygoing, but we like to do things right. Like if it's done right, there's no issues. And
so you would say you're quite similar in that regard, and maybe that's a strength.
I'd say so. Yeah, like when you're involved in so many properties, stuff can happen, stuff changes, a deal can fall through. But the fundamentals are: have you done it right? You do the right process. Yeah.
So you're the commercial side more. So you're the residential side. How much input do you have into each other's stuff? Would you go to each other for a bit of advice and stuff? Or obviously you've kind of, I'm assuming, decision making and
all the
stuff.
time.
And
all every day.
So you consult with each other.
Yeah.
Two heads make better decisions.
I think so, and we're maybe looking at things from different angles.
Of course.
And it's like everything. I think sometimes it's good to get reassurance if you're, putting a presentation together. Then I think getting a second opinion on all these things, irrespective of what it is. But every day we'd bounce ideas off each other.
And I'd encourage that in any business or any person starting out in the property. Always question it. Always question, am I doing this? When you're focused on one thing, you might just lose focus on the main part of it.
Yeah.
And it takes somebody else to...
Absolutely. I couldn't...
Probably happy and blunt with each other. Like, we're happy enough to be blunt and say literally what...
Well, that's it. You know each other so long, you can cut past,
you don't
be very honest.
There's nothing personal like it.
Are you both married?
Yeah, I'm married. I've a darling wife, Neve, and I've two lovely kids, so all good. It's busy, 2 and 4 year olds. So
you're a busy household. What about yourself, John?
Yeah, same as Kieran actually. Louise and I, we live in Kells, and we've 2 kids, 13-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl. So I might be at the maybe easier stage. They're a little bit older, and but different dynamics in terms. I'm more driving the car in the countryside. You're more.
I know you're leading the future at Kells. You're managing. This is we have on a Monday. Yeah. Jose Farrell comes in after the weekend, telling us about how good of a manager he is. And there's me sacked.
yeah.
How do your other halves get on? Do they get together behind your backs and give out about the pair of you working too much?
They'll definitely give out about the pair of us, and rightly so. It's very, very important to be realistic about.
To be fair, we work. Everyone that's in business works long hours. So when you do get some quiet time, you like to have family time. We don't get to do as much as what you'd like because you're 6 days a week gone. So it's nice to spend time home.
It's a busy time for both of us outside of work, but it's a very, very enjoyable part of our lives. But like over the next 2 months, September, October is traditionally very, very busy in our industry, and you're very much focused on the business, and then aside from that, it's purely family time, really.
Very good, and it's very important to get that balance as well as much as you can. Having home time and family time makes you a better, more productive and able-bodied person in your work time. You really have to have that.
Right at home, you have a chance of getting everything right.
Exactly.
When you're under pressure at home, that's when things can go.
Yeah, exactly. So we mentioned a little bit about some of the innovations that you've brought and kind of doing things a little bit differently than the others around you, to the competition and that. Your social media presence and your marketing seems to be one of those. You seem to be looking back. You seem to be ahead of the curve there. And we talked a little bit about it already. Where do you see the future? So it seems that most people have kind of caught up to what you're doing now to a certain extent. How do you kind of plan to innovate and change over the next couple of years? How do you think property is going to change? Are we all just going to be buying property on apps, and or like where does it go?
I think
Very good question.
Maybe I don't think the fundamentals have to stay the same in terms of potential buyers need to feel comfortable, need to feel that the process is fair.
Fair, yeah.
I think the fundamentals is how people consume news, how people maybe view the properties, where they view the properties. The only thing that's changed from like 20 years ago was it was papers. It was calling into the local estate agent. Today it's just obviously iPhones, laptops to signage. So
yeah,
that's
like drone
probably
footage and optics and maybe 3D models of houses and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose people are consuming that information with a more refined basis. It's more off obviously phones. That's not going to change. Video content is much more significant with people because look, attention spans. People don't want to read long text. Static images, videos. That's going to be the future. Don't necessarily see that changing.
How does the impending dawn of AI affect property management? How does AI affect your business? Well, firstly, on a day-to-day basis, have you found it as a useful tool for putting together documents or
brochures, stuff like that can be good.
Yeah.
The detail though, devil's in detail.
Yeah.
The AI on preparing a property brochure, they haven't seen the house, they haven't been out there.
Yeah.
Like if you'd said to you 5-6 years ago, people buy a house without seeing it,
yeah, people laugh at you.
People laugh at you.
Yeah.
But the marketing material is so good now. You have your floor plans, your drones, your videos, that you can do video calls with buyers. They don't necessarily need to be there, but you do build a sense of trust. So as good as AI is, I'm still a big believer in you need somebody managing it.
1,000%, yeah, no, and it comes back to a trust thing as well. It's that human-to-human interaction. It'll be a very, very long time, I think, before that's replaced. And for something like property, it's not like buying a T-shirt off a website. It for something like property where people are spending a lot of money, it's a major investment for your side, John, those 33-year-olds who are buying a house maybe for the first time. It's one of the biggest decisions of their lives. They're not, they want that human experience.
Yeah.
That said, there's no doubt that things are going to change. We may be looking at a future by the time your kids grow up where people are viewing houses in VR and, they're looking at properties, they're able to see a bunch of different properties from their own home and, there will be changes and
We have actually sold, I suppose when you think of it, we have sold quite a lot of new homes off plans. And that essentially, at the very start of the construction phase where you don't have a show house, you can't literally kick the tires if you want.
Yeah.
I think technology helped us a lot. Relative to say 10, 15 years ago, it's much easier. Especially with tours and with, detail on specification, purely based on good technology, which certainly would have enabled us to sell, I suppose, off plans a lot quicker and easier. So there is that element to it as well.
And at the moment, there's fundamental shortage of houses.
Yeah.
So people are panicking, if you want to call it, that they have to buy a house. They're 33, they're putting off having kids or they're putting off getting married. So everything in life is coming later for them. So, there's the demand is massive.
Demand is there.
So they are pushing themselves to the limit to get there. And that'll allow them to start the next chapter.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just was listening to the news on the way up and I think first time buyers, was it like 1.8 billion or something on mortgages this last year, something like that. We've got the highest number of, exactly. Something like, was there 5,500 mortgages approved, 3,300 of those first time buyers, some of the highest numbers since that we've ever seen. So mortgages are being approved, people are buying houses, and as you say, maybe it's a FOMO thing where just the fear of like we got to do it now, prices are only going to rise and stuff. But the demand is certainly there and the supply is not, obviously. I suppose I have to ask you the question. You're the Minister for Housing. How do you solve the housing problem in 2 sentences?
Two
Two sentences.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 sentences each.
2 ministers for housing haven't sorted it.
Absolutely.
And it's not like you have to look at. I always look at things with a balanced view. It's not just one area. Services, infrastructure. It's not right. There's a lack of zoned land. That's 2 issues. The builders will build, but even getting staff for them is an issue. So it's a fundamental. There's 3 or 4 roots. Like there's 3 or 4 causes here that are all contributing to a delay. But like the numbers again, like every year 40, 50,000 houses.
Yeah,
They're delivering. They said 32, 33.
Yeah.
That's going to be down at 20,
28
25 probably with time year
Okay.
end. So there's a lot to be done, but builders want to build.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
They can't get access to land or they can't get access to services. That is holding up a lot, in my opinion.
the cost of producing a new home in Ireland relative to other countries is
Massive.
significantly higher.
Yeah. That's it.
When we moved the business into, obviously started the business in Meath, the cost of the average house that we were selling, the sale price was significantly below cost price, significantly. Now, obviously, Meath it's a very strong commuter belt of Dublin. Traditionally, it's very, very strong demand, but it's only in the last probably 3 to 4 years where obviously sale prices have risen above cost. So it's only viable, not that long ago, maybe 3 to 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And so there's been a huge shift in values, which enables obviously people to build houses, make a profit, make it viable. So it's probably taken too long for that to happen. And that's impacted the number of homes that have been built nationally.
Yeah.
We still have to
Same
realise that housing is needed all over Ireland. And 20, 25 years ago, there was traditionally maybe a small builder in each village that produced enough housing for the community, created local employment. And in some ways, that it's in the last probably 10 years, we haven't seen that type of local builder come back into the fold, which I think is maybe to the detriment of the industry. So if one thing I'd like to see, maybe that change as much as possible, so that we're not just seeing maybe large builders producing all the homes in Ireland, that it's more accessible, I suppose, as an industry.
Absolutely. Look, all of that makes sense. I guess, it's been a bit glib saying, can you sum it up in 2 sentences? Because as we all know, it's a very complex issue with a lot of nuances and a lot of different variables and stuff. And you could do hours of a podcast just talking about this issue. And hopefully the people that have the power to make changes in all these little kind of places can. Because definitely there's difficulties out there for people. Your own team. So how many? It's more than just the 2 of you, right? There's a whole team of you. How many people are working for Lydon Farrell these days?
Well, we've 4 others in the office. We've been lucky, actually. Darren came in just as we were starting, and he's a great guy. He was over in England with Chesterfield, wasn't it? Had a soccer background, and he came back and he did the apprenticeship course. And he flew. He was great. And Cathy came in, and Cathy...
What area is Darren in?
Darren was sales, negotiations.
Okay, gotcha.
Property
management as well.
Valuations.
Yeah.
Bit of everything.
Bit of everything.
And so you're going to say Cathy?
Cathy came in, and Cathy's the boss. So she is. She's the office manager. She looks after
Now I
everything.
understand. I was asking about the dynamic between you two, and now I understand there's a Cathy to keep
very important.
Check.
Cathy is
100%.
very, very important.
Yeah.
And we've recently taken on 2 graduates there as well. So they're starting out.
Very good.
We've a young Kieran, or as he called himself, the good-looking Kieran, a few the other day. And I had to listen to it. I know he's a good lad. He's sport mad, so he fits right in. And Mia has joined us there in the last couple of weeks, and she's really just getting to grips with it. She loves social media. She's big into it. She's actually teaching us things, to be honest.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Social media is changing every day, as you well know.
It certainly is.
And the younger person seems to have more of a handle on it than us.
Yeah, it's natural to them.
Yeah.
They've grown up in a different environment than we do, and how they consume information and stuff is very different. And Yeah, no, that's great. You it sounds like you're growing fast. And yeah. So how do you balance the like growth with costs, and obviously you want to keep things tight and that kind of stuff. And how do you do your HR? Do you hire people yourselves? Do you use an agency? How do you find good people that are going to stay with you and understand your business? And
Darren just called into the office one day, and he came in and he sat down talking about what he'd looked into and how he was going to get a qualification. And at that stage, we weren't ready to hire somebody. We were just really getting going. It was just the end of our first year, so we were keeping the door open. But when he spoke, we were kind of going, we could actually do with somebody like him.
Yeah.
And he was coming in at an age profile where he needed to work. So it just suited us.
Yeah.
Then when we got Darren in and we started going through stuff, then you need somebody to manage the office, to keep an eye, to make sure calls, everything is just being recorded, everything's being done right.
Yeah.
So we went looking, we advertised for somebody to manage the office essentially, and a friend of mine actually dropped in Kathy's CV, and we were like, we met 2 or 3 others, but we were blessed that she was available.
She was the one.
Exceptional CV, and
we
were lucky to. I think, look, with all the staff, they've essentially been there from the start, and we've been very lucky that there hasn't been any turnover.
I think it's more than luck. I think it's a testament to you too. When you've got low staff turnover like that, it's indicative of a good work environment where people are happy, they enjoy what they're doing, and that comes from top down. And if you can foster that environment, you can really grow a business, that follows your values and it transcends to your customers and clients and how people feel about you and how the community feels about you and stuff. So, yeah, I think that's testament to the pair of you.
No,
you should take more credit.
I know it's nice. It's a nice compliment to get. Like, and it's lovely when you're out in viewings on Saturday and they've met some of the other staff. And I've heard great reports about Darren, Kieran, and Mia. They're really nice. They knew they knew the property inside out. So when you hear that feedback, that's the nice part for you, because you've done the training with them, but they're listening.
I think it's nice to get people with maybe a different background, that they've all done different things prior to coming into us. So they've brought different dynamics in.
Yeah.
That and have offered us probably a lot more. And having that diversity of backgrounds coming into us has been, I think it's important.
Yeah.
And certainly, like, every Monday we'll have meetings. Everyone gets, to implement what we're going to do for the week, and offers different ideas. So we do probably brainstorming once a week.
Yeah.
Which certainly, it gives a different insight, because you can get a little bit stale doing your own thing every single day and not even have time to lift your head up to see see if there's something different that how we can present things differently.
And people genuinely, when you see you're bringing the apprentice out with you, you're bringing somebody who's just joined out to see a house with you, they like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're showing the next generation how to do something.
Yeah.
So we found that when you go out to look at a house, it's a great positive.
Yeah.
And then you have another connection with them.
Yeah.
They'll figure out they know somebody, even another person in the community, that helps get the word of mouth out. So it's all been very positive.
Comes back to trust and networks.
Yeah, network and trust, yeah.
Same thing. Same things. What's your web address? Where can people find you online?
Lydon Farrell Property.ie.
Lydon Farrell Property, LYDON FARRELL.e. And you're on Instagram as well, and you're on social media. What's your Instagram handle?
John, you're going to have to
ask me.
Yeah, I think if you just type in Lydon Farrell Property,
you'll find
you'll find it straight away. And obviously we're on Facebook as well, and TikTok as well more recently. And it's lovely to see even how that's evolved in 5-6 years in terms of initially Facebook was just huge for us.
Yeah.
Instagram has just shot up in the last 2 years, and now we've got TikTok, which is probably in the last 6 months is we can see that growing to a huge degree, where videos could maybe I think some of our videos did maybe 15,000-20,000 views, which is fascinating. And it actually brings in inquiries from the most diverse places.
Yeah.
We've some beautiful properties that are, thatched cottages to, large housing with maybe paddocks to the back, and we've genuinely got inquiries from the States, purely based on social media.
There's a house I remember. It was a Friday. It was up before and it didn't sell, and it came to us. It came onto our books then, and we got an inquiry on the Facebook on a Friday night. And it was in Johnstown, up the road. So we met them Saturday and we'd sold it via Facebook. So as much as we thought Facebook was just about putting ourselves out there, people getting to know us, we quickly realised that this is a tool that people are watching, and if they see something,
absolutely.
The phone is, it's amazing. Like, there's videos being sent. Have you seen this? My daughter, house you're selling, my daughter sent me the video, and that's why they're up at a viewing. So everything works. Like when you're selling anything, you want the best exposure on it.
Yeah.
You want to present it correctly. And then once that is all done, it will take off itself.
Absolutely, yeah. So reach is everything, and putting yourself out there into different places and stuff. Do you spend much time looking at your analytics and how your things are being taken up, and do you spend much time with it?
We've like everyone, we look at a report of what's happened, and like there's traditional times of the year where it's very quiet, so seasonal in July where the numbers drop. But you're always wondering, how do you get more, or how do you do more stuff on social media without being, I'm a bit more, you don't want to be annoying people by everyone switching off from you as well. So I'd be more on the, can you do too much?
Yeah.
So we do review it. We review it probably every 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Could probably have your kids. You say you have a 13-year-old?
Yeah.
I'm sure, and I'm sure they could probably do a better job of reviewing the analytics very fast. Are they teaching you any TikToks? Will we see videos of you doing the TikTok dance?
It depends. I think Kieran is better at dancing actually than me.
Interesting. We might have to get a little demo.
Kieran is more of the face, I think, of the business. He's more TikTok friendly than me, I think.
I wouldn't think that, John. No, like, it's hard to know. John has his farmer's dance and he just sticks to it, and that's it.
Well, I mentioned you have a very trustworthy face. You have a very honest kind of character about you. You strike me as a lad that would make a good impression. If I was standing in front of you trying to buy a house or sell a house or whatever, I'd be thinking, okay, this lad's very centered and very decent.
That's
which is everything, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they taught you that in back in the good old days in Bolton Street, or maybe that's something you brought into it. But it's certainly part of the sauce that you have and you bring to your business, and many years of success ahead. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up? Who is better at GA? Do you still play both? You're coaching.
Well, I'd actually maybe who's better at GA? Kieran had the luxury of playing until he was about 38.
Yeah,
good man.
Where I actually retired at 28. So I think the answer is in that. Is that fair to say?
There's a fella, Bill Chute, great character I worked with in Jones Lang. He's Old Castle, and he just kept saying, play as long as you can. Play as long as you can. And it was the best bit of advice, because team sports are brilliant. It's great. You're out in fresh air.
Couldn't agree more.
The camaraderie with people, you get to know a lot of people, and the crack. You do something for enjoyment.
That's the mental break away from work and everything else, just chasing a piece of leather for 90 minutes or an hour.
Something to give out about the pub then afterwards as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Kieran and John. Thank you very much for coming in today for the Business Hour podcast. That's all we got for you today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.